What you said that made me a little mad?
What?
You said I'm dealing with a Karen out here.
Yeah, I thought you were a Karen. I really did. Because on the average, I deal with 2 to 3 a day.
2 or 3 Karens a day.
Yeah.
This is Susan Bassi for Father's Day 2021. And in a few hours, I hope to be traveling to see San Joaquin Valley Transparency and meet up with Rights Crispy, which will make it a very special Father's Day this year. But before we get started, I wanted to show you an interview that I conducted on a street with a man who was delivering porta potties, a father, who I suspect his children would say that he's strong in character, strong in his values, and it was perhaps one of the most important interviews I've ever done.
They call it, just like the garbage man, they call us sanitation workers.
Yeah.
We actually have the right to block lights and middle of corners, sometimes stop signs, if an emergency is called for.
You are awesome.
Certainly, we all have a First Amendment right to record in public, and that's something we fight for every single day. But sometimes, when we're fighting for our rights, we forget to stop and listen to other people who are also exercising their rights. And this man explained that he had a right to block traffic, but he misunderstood that I was upset about what he was doing, and that got us off on the wrong foot. So it took a little bit of communication to de-escalate the situation.
I feel uncomfortable. I do.
And you know what? I appreciate you expressing that to me.
I do.
But you do understand I'm a reporter, and and filming in public right now is a big issue. People are really uncomfortable.
I'm all for that because I film too myself, but the way that you just did that right now, it wasn't as genuine as how I feel right now talking to you, and feel more truthfulness coming from you. The fact that you said you were a reporter and the energy that you give me now versus how it was when you first.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you know I am interested in what makes you comfortable and uncomfortable. I'm not into putting people up online to shame them unless they earn it. And if you don't know the laws and the rules about recording in public, what did you mean by when you said escalate if I photograph? What did you mean by that? And I do record the police, but the police are also my best sources for information. And they tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. I don't want to incite things. I don't want people fighting. I want to talk about why we get so upset and uncomfortable about recording in public when we could have a conversation like this.
Are you recording for?
Anyway, you did a nice job for your company. You explained it well.
Yeah.
And I actually just did this with a traffic stop with some sheriffs, and I'm going to blend that into the video.
While the First Amendment certainly assures our right to record in public, it doesn't necessarily mean that the people we record are going to be happy about it. And sometimes there can just simply be miscommunication about how we're recording and why we're recording. So on this day in San Jose, California, I decided to record a traffic stop, and shortly after I began recording, 3 police officers responded to the call. And based on my experience with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department, I was concerned that this might be an overreaction to my recording again. I would later learn that I was wrong, and that it was actually my behavior and where I had pulled my car over that made them worry.
Could you take your mask down so I can make sure that gets
So
heard?
when a bicycle's on the road, they are treated as a motor vehicle in the state of California. They have every right to be on the road as well. So as when driving a vehicle, if you're passing a cyclist, you need to have a 3-foot buffer room between the cyclist, any part of their body or bicycle, between you and their car. But also when you do pass, especially on a double yellow, you need to make sure you do it safely, not impede oncoming traffic. Okay.
I want you to know that what you're doing is important. I understand the value of the stops, as angry as they make people. And with all the talk about defunding police, we need to show what we need the police for. And that's educating people and making sure that we all are safer. So I just want to make sure that you know that. I do have a question for you, though. Did you call for backup because of how I pulled over and recorded?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to educate myself, too. I work with the First Amendment auditors, and I'm just trying to show everybody, hey, man, you do this, this is what the police are going to think. So when I pulled up in a black car with no plates.
And that's the first thing I noticed.
You noticed that I didn't have plates.
Correct.
Okay. And so I pulled up to ask you a question just because I do that and I don't think about I'm going to get shot or killed. I was just going to ask you a question. but that made you nervous. So I want to know what I did to make you nervous.
Just that you did pull into right in front of the vehicle that I had stopped.
Okay.
And then you exit the vehicle and approach me right away.
Okay.
So that's something we call a tell, or also a presumptive indicator.
Okay.
Where somebody approaches me without any reason to be at that stop that I was at.
Okay.
Then it's gonna elicit some kind of response of, well, maybe I need to get one of my partners out here.
So you felt by my doing that, even though I'm a white middle class lady in a black car, that still made you feel a little concerned. And so your training was said that's something that you should have been alerted to, right?
Because we don't know. It could be anybody that commits crimes or commits assault on peace officers. So
well, and the reality is people are a little aggressive right now towards police. Right. I understand that. I've had my hand broken by a police officer in a court file room, so I understand that, and I'm trying to work through and educate everybody on these issues.
Right.
So I just want you to know that that was my intent when I pulled over, and I'm trying to look for what are we all doing right and wrong in this.
And absolutely. And I asked you, can you please get back to your car? And you did.
And I did.
Yep. And then I said I will talk to you.
And when you said that to me, it made me realize what I might have done that made you nervous, which is why I pulled up even further to wait, so that you could see that I was not planning to be a threat. And when the other officer came, I realized that you were more concerned than. So I'm trying to train people how you feel threatened, but I'm also trying to train you guys how we feel threatened when police do certain things. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right,
my name's Susan Bassi. I have a YouTube channel. If you don't know it, you aren't listening in the locker room.
Thank you, Susan.
And
all different shapes and sizes. And
I'm an admitted former Karen. I would have Karened up on that, probably called the police and everything else. But I'm trying to show, and arguably, I am a white middle-class woman, and so there is an entitlement that people just assume that people think that we have a right to do whatever we want and call the police and they'll come. And the difference is the police come when Karens call.
Yeah, and then it's with other races. I've met black Karens also in the Bay because it's so mixed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what makes it so hard. Like I don't know like where it's gonna hit me. And then at times I also have to check myself because when am I in the wrong?
That's right.
Because I am so geared up on being, okay, I'm just going to try to deflect this person. And sometimes I really need to realize, what am I doing wrong?
So you know what?
And
you're talking about,
so many times.
That's exactly right. You're talking about de-escalating the Karens.
Yeah.
And that is a really important thing that we all have to think about. Because last week I filmed a Karen on the beach in Capitola.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, I even told her before she did it, don't do that. If you want to call the police, that's fine.
Let's walk over here. Keep videoing
I'm not walking anywhere. I'm standing right here on a public beach. Do not get in my face. I would not do that if I were you. But she escalated a situation because I was recording on the beach.
Well, I would like to apologize for this Karen just now. I humbly apologize too.
So we're going to talk about how we de-escalate the Karens too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, the whole atmosphere of it is for awareness and de-escalation.
That's right.
It's never to be an actual label, hence the light name of it. But you do have your habitual people that would abuse it. You're going to have that. But versus the good that came from it, just the honesty side of it.
That's
it's
right.
worth it. Now, the de-escalation side, it's going to come in this area because it's the Bay. We for the most part, we have a lot more than what other people don't have. And that's community-based, orientated people.
That's right. And educated. So that's why I give you my name. You are going to be on my YouTube channel, but
awesome.
You're one of the good guys. And you can help us teach how to de-escalate the Karens, because I have a lot of Karens and a lot of troll cops. And if we can bring everybody to the middle to talk about, hey, don't get all upset. But you understand too when I explained to you that when you said I got a Karen out here to somebody on the phone, you understand what that incites in police officers and men who are really angry at women right now. And you know.
And that's worst thing that's going on.
So I just want to share that with you, just like you share what makes you uncomfortable. I'm trying to tell you, when I heard you say that, my adrenaline started. I'm like, bro, you're calling me a Karen. I filmed the police. I can't be a Karen.
I lightly dismissed it at first. I was like, okay. But then I started thinking as we were talking, and I do that.
Yeah.
I filter. as we're talking, I filter because
Yeah.
I'm more into how I feel like it and the energy, how you say it versus what you say.
Right.
And then I start realizing, okay, what are you doing? All right. I need to try to be more honest than what I just was.
And that's what police officers need to do.
Yeah.
If they told us what they were doing and they didn't act like they were trying to start a fight every time or put us in jail every time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a lot of really good police
I
officers.
got beat when I was, 14 years old, going to school. And they knew I didn't have any drugs on me. They choked me out, put me on the ground. They had the old batons back there, and they got me across here, and then put their foot on my neck, and then pushed off and called me shit skin. And then they knew I didn't have drugs. They really didn't search me. They were just saying, stop, don't swallow. Because back then, people in my neighborhood did have drugs under their tongue.
Oh, so they were trying to catch to see if you had
they
it.
were trying to see if I had drugs under my tongue. But they knew I was going to school. I had my backpack, no affiliation to that area. And I'm walking to school, and they did a number on me. And they got away with it. I wasn't the only person.
Can you film us for a little bit? Film us. He's the coolest guy I've ever met in my life.
You know what a meme is, right, on the internet? A meme?
Yes.
This is the ultimate meme truck, right?
So we investigate public
Yeah, all kinds of
corruption.
poop jokes.
So when we were filming, we were
And
filming.
it's all right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fresh
poop.
water is here.
The pressure,
This
and
is
it
all the way.
smells out here.
Yeah, it does.
Smells.
Know that.
You know what else you do? You also go to job sites of people who are remodeling homes, which means they have a lot of money, and they may very well be the people we're investigating in our real estate fraud investigations.
I do. You would be shocked where I
No,
go to.
I wouldn't be
I
shocked.
go to famous, to top executives, to big corporation, new development setups. That's
Sports stars. Yeah.
we do. We are. Yeah, and even top sensitive sites. First responders. Well, that's me. My other guys, I'm just a supervisor for my company, but for the Bay Area, the branch. But my other guys, they can stay home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, any type of emergency gas leak. I gotta go out, set up the fence, set up the barriers. I'm inhaling the gas, it's hard, you know. And the other PG&E guys get to stay back in a safe area. I gotta go in with the first responder, and I'm not making $150,000 a year like that.
That's really important because
Yeah,
what we're
yeah, I
talking
take that
about is
important.
how much police officers are being paid compared to teachers and
Yeah.
other people, and it's getting a little out of control for what's being done with
is.
it.
No teacher should be getting paid less than my mom's a teacher. She should be getting paid less.
Of course she is. What's your mom's name?
Anna.
And what school does she teach in?
She used to teach in Vallejo Junior, Farragut Elementary, which is now is a continuation. Now she teaches in, don't remember the school in Florida. And
So she's out of state.
Now she's out of state.
So I have some First Amendment auditors from Florida coming here this weekend. So I'm going to have them give a shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
Hey, did you grow up in Vallejo when you told me about that
Yes.
police incident?
Yeah, that
Do you
happened,
know what
yeah.
we're doing with the Vallejo police right now related to mainstream and social media have combined? They're getting people fired. They're going after public officials, and
especially
they're really.
with the bending shield thing when they were bragging about killing one of us and bend the tip of their shield. For
That's
that.
right.
That hurt me because the guy that just got killed for sleeping in his car. Excuse me. I think a bug just flew in my mouth. Well, he was my nephew's friend, one of his best friends, and that was just, they didn't have to shoot him like that. I mean, like that 20 times, and he was just sleeping, and they did see it was a gun there. It was a gun, and he was sleeping, and they were sitting there doing like this. They saw it. They were tapping on him to wake him up. He started waking up, and then they talked to each other. He was still looking around, and then they came and they all drew on him. They knew. They tried saying he reached for it. Well, obviously that didn't show. The even from the Jack in the Box footage didn't show him even leaning forward. He was still back the whole time.
And all we're talking about is we want transparency. And if police officers are doing that, don't edit the body cams. Fire those guys.
Yeah.
Change the culture. Get rid of the attitude, because it's the attitude on the streets that is causing people to die. Maybe inciting it. I don't know what it is. But the reality is That's a human story. That was a human being sleeping in a car who had a gun. Who knows why he had the gun?
Yeah.
Maybe he'd been just being chased by somebody. We don't know. But the fact is, he
Right or
didn't
wrong,
deserve
he
to be
deserved it.
shot because he had a gun in the front seat of the car.
That's what made that cop go and turn into other cops and be like, look, they've been the shield for murders, and that was one of the incidents.
That's
they
outrageous.
Just wanted a trophy from him.
Tell me your name again.
Oh, my name's Kimwell Haynes.
Kimwell. Very nice to meet you. Susan Bassi. Steve, I want you to take a picture of us because I want everyone to see. Do I look crazy?
No, you don't look crazy.
But I did sound like a Karen.
When you first came up,
I found like
it
a
was the
Karen.
energy. I didn't go off the look or anything.
Okay.
It does have Karen energy.
Well, when she first came up, I was like, and I didn't really see her. I saw all the women and the men that
That's
attacked me in
right.
the past, and being so random here, that I've been hit with black Karens, Asian Karens, and white Karens. It's like you never know where it's gonna come.
Yeah. I so appreciate you. You have no idea. Thank you.
Thank you.